Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and a new Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, we've come again on day 6 of the protest to have a discussion on the things that are happening in Nigeria. Today, protesters converged at the residence of Wike, the FCT minister. And of course, we are going to show you how it all panned out and the videos coming out from that. And we'll be talking more about the armored truck that is now showing in almost every platform now, wherein protesters in the north, Kaduna precisely, are riding on armored vehicle. Does this mean that there is a police or a military that are riding this, or it is the protesters that has taken over the police vehicle? All of this we are going to discuss. And of course, we are going to bring you wherein the people in FCT have discovered a warehouse wherein the rice said to have sent to states are being stored and not given to the masses. And now the public, the masses have found out where this very warehouse is, and they are picking and carrying bags of rice from the warehouse. Let's take a look.
You can see it happening live in Abuja. It's happening in a zoo country. The federal territory. Bros, leave open. Now government property, leave open. This is government property. Our property. Having kept in a warehouse for months. See it happening live in Abuja. It's happening live. FCT, this country is happening live. You can see it with your eye. It's happening live. In FCT, Abuja, Federal Territory, it's happening live. Masses are hungry, and these people kept this kind of thing in the warehouse for months. This country is wicked. The leaders of this country, they are heartless. This most useless country I have never seen in my life. See it happening live in FCT Abuja, Gwagwa Tasha 2, Gwagwa Tasha 1 at Panteka. It is happening live. Our people are wicked. Our people are wicked. The government are wicked. It's happening live of rights. Having kept in a warehouse for months. See it happening live in Abuja.
This is the same trucks of rice that Tinubu's government said that they have sent out 20 trucks of rice to all the states in the federation. And I want to bring to our attention that what we understand, like some of the protesters are saying, that when they want to talk about protest, they say it's rice. We complain about health, they say it's rice. They complain about this in Nigeria, everything has to deal about rice. Is it rice that is really the problem for this very protest? But anyway, let's take a listen again.
You complain about unemployment, rice. Yes. You complain about the fact that, oh, we are hungry, rice. You say we want to protest, rice. You say, oh, you don't have medical facilities, rice. You say you don't have good schools and good teachers, rice. You say minimum wage, rice. It's rice. Can't solve all the problems.
Minimum wage, rice, everything rice. And of course, of today, we have a credible report coming in that the federal government has mandated workers who wish to buy rice at 40,000 to fill out a GoGo form. Of course, that is coming from the federal ministry in Abuja. The government has directed the workers to fill out a form and purchase the 50 kg bag of rice at 40,000 naira, saying it is a step to alleviating the food crisis in the nation and its effect on Nigerians. This directive was disclosed in a letter from the Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, which was signed by the Director of Human Resources in the ministry, Abimbola. The letter said all interested staff members were to complete a Google form on the website and submit it to the Director of Human Resources for endorsement. It is all about rice. But again, governors who have said to receive 20 trucks of rice going across the states have denied same. As this very particular thing has come between Edo State and several other states have said that whatever rice that Tinubu's government said they have sent across the state, they are yet to receive. No 20 trucks of rice came to Edo State. And also, the people of Adamawa State also said that they did not receive any 20 trucks of rice. But let's listen to Adamawa Governor Fintri has to say about this Tinubu-led government causing hunger and poverty through policy deficit and insensitivity. He says very clearly that the demands of the protesters are seriously genuine. Let's take a listen.
And the demands are genuine. None of us can deny the fact that there is no hunger and general poverty in the land. This has been made worse by the harsh economic realities, a deficit policy direction and insensitivity of the national government to engage the citizens civilly. As leaders of the people, we must at all times not only listen but act. The lesson we must derive from the protest is the constant reminder that it is not enough to tell the citizens we have heard. We must be seen as doing the needful in providing solutions to citizens' concerns. Some of the demands of the protesters, as genuine as they are microeconomic policies issues that can only be addressed by the national government. This is the reality of our federal structure and constitution. We shall work with you to make sure that the demands are attended to.
That is the Adamawa State governor who has clearly stated that Tinubu has really missed it. And of course, joining me to have the discussion of all of this and several other things that happened on day 6, I have Mercy in the studio, and of course, we have well-meaning Nigerians across the globe who are joining us via Zoom.
Good evening, my fellow Obedients. Thank you for joining us on this live broadcast.
Wherever you are joining us from, please like, share, and subscribe so that other well-meaning Nigerians will know that Obidient Family TV is live now. Now, let's start with another thing that has to deal with the same Tinubu stock. Some people has reacted. Several reactions on this very protest. Several reactions on Tinubu's broadcast. But the one that caught our attention have to deal with the one that Kenneth Okonkwo voiced, and very strong indeed on the national TV. Let's listen to that, then we'll come and I will start the conversation from there.
Well, thank my colleague here. He is actually doing the job for me. I would have loved to listen to him. First of all, Sheikh Husani at the presidential villa told President Tinubu, you are the father of protests. If going by his submission that there has never been any peaceful protest, he is actually saying that President Tinubu has never been any peaceful man. By his own submission, not mine. Although I respectfully disagree with him, because I know that they unleashed the greatest protests against this country. And in all conscience, I would not say that they were extremely violent. When they protested against Goodluck Jonathan because of a 20 naira increase in fuel, today they said purportedly that they have removed fuel subsidy that landed the price of fuel from 195 naira to, according to him again, 1,000 naira.
In black market?
No, even in real market. In Lagos, 1,200 naira. And the funny thing is that it's not even available. People have to spend hours in the filling station to pay 900 naira and it's not even available. What a government. Now, the people are protesting for hunger and hardship, for deprivation, for degradation. And the president was compelled to speak. I wish they did not compel him. Because if I were a media aide, I would have preferred there was no speech at all. Because a bad speech is worse than no speech at all.
What was wrong with that speech for you?
First and foremost, it was contradictory, it was inflammatory, it was annoying, it was disheartening. I'll give you an example. Paragraph 2 of that speech. He was recognizing that it is the children that are desiring for a better nation that are protesting. In paragraph 5, he's already saying that it is by some politicians that have clear political agenda. What a contradiction. In paragraph 6, the president said, in his own words, for people who want to take undue advantage of this situation to threaten a section of the country, be warned, the law will catch up with you. There is no place for ethnic bigotry in Nigeria we seek to build. This same president is harboring as a media aide a man who, after 2023, said Igbos are aliens in Yoruba land. He said Igbos should never interfere with the police of Lagos State. That 2023 should be the last time that the Igbos should interfere in the police of Lagos State. And in 2027, it should not repeat itself again. It was on his Twitter space, and I'm talking about Bayo Onanuga. If the president is sincere in what he said in paragraph 6 of his speech, the first thing he would have done is to sack Bayo Onanuga. And you know, in addition to the speech being empty and very annoying, it was even leaked before the day. And people were making caricature of the president when he was talking. They were reading with him and even reading ahead of his own speech. And he has such level of incompetence in the media aid, and he did not take them out. And give another example. For now, we have 48 ministers going to 49. These children, what are they asking for? They are simply saying, sir, this fuel subsidy removal, this depreciation of Naira, this electricity tariff, they are unsustainable, and I agree with them.
So is it to say that the fact that he even spoke and decided to at least try and address the concerns of Nigerians counts for nothing because you think that the speech is not good enough?
No. It is because, I'm sorry to say this, because I don't have better way to express it. I don't even know whether he understands or he understood what he said. Because he said this is the broadcast by the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces on nationwide protest. Then what is it about the nationwide process that he addressed? He was telling us he gave 570 billion naira to governors. And the first time he started dishing out these billions to governors was when they had cases in tribunal. And you knew what happened to those billions.
Okay, so let's start the conversation from here, Mercy. Let's quickly get your reaction on the what people converging on Wike's residence. You want to start from there because we saw a whole lot of crowd who has trooped out protesters on this day 6 who happened to say, hey, we are hitting the residence of Nyesom Wike, of course, and we saw them showing what that they are actually there, and they want to deliver to him what is happening in Abuja, what is protesting in Abuja, but they went to his residence in Port Harcourt to make sure that they send their demand letter to his residence. What are your reaction?
Well, now, since he has refused to hear from them all this while, I think the best
He's
thing...
tormenting the people in Abuja, so they went to send letter to his house.
Yes, they went to his residence. Since he has not, he can't hear, he can't even see them on the media. Let them now come to his residence. Maybe from there he cannot actually hear them, or maybe even attend to their demands. But the protesters are actually trying, you know. I commend their efforts so far, even till this very moment, that is the 6th day. You know, it has been peaceful. To me, I would say that, I don't know if I would say this is the most peaceful protest, you know, I've ever seen. And Nigerians, they just agreed. And all
aside
this
from
while,
the aggression coming from the police,
yet they are still peaceful. I really commend the Nigerians out there. And they really did nothing wrong going to Wike's residence.
What about your thoughts on the armored truck that seems to be carrying? I really don't know what they are turning this country into, because a protest is a protest, and now it seems like the police or the army have joined the protesters in trying probably to dissuade them from doing what they are supposed to be, but rather jumping into the armored truck and being driven around. What are your thoughts on that? You know, as it is now, everybody is hungry. Even some of these security personnel that you see, every one of them is hungry, you know. So it's obvious, because if you watch the video, actually, you will see that even some of the security personnel, they were standing and watching some of the protesters on the armored car, you know, driving. It's obvious that it's the policemen or women that must have been driving the armored car. It's not a good thing. When I saw that, it's not really a good thing. But then it just looked like everybody is confused. I don't know if it's the hunger that is causing the confusion. I don't really know, you know, because if it is that things are actually rightly done in this country, you will see that everything will have procedures and process, and it will be followed. Let's hope that it's the police that is actually riding the car that is driving the armored vehicle, and not a hijack from the protesters. And again, I also saw a security operative and a police, for that matter, in that very warehouse in Abuja, where that it will house rice. If you notice, the person who opened the gate is a police, is actually a policeman, and of course, he allowed the protesters to go in, or rather the people who are interested in getting bags of rice, 50 kg. And you can see, imagine people were carrying 2 bags of 50 kg rice. Hey, now the hunger is now serious. As it, if we see rice now, we no go carry. If you no get straight, you go drag your own, they go sharp, you know. But then, I think the police personnel who must have been the person that opened the gate, I think I want to commend the person, you know, because this rice, obviously, it has been packed, it has been stored there. But it's the youths actually that will offload such rice into the warehouse, so they know where it is. They know where it is, but then at the end of the day, they'll give them 5,000 naira, 1.5, and that is why we are telling the youth, why are you allowing yourself to be used? Since you know that this is the rice, why don't you speak up? Okay, you know? What about the one that have gone to the States? 20 trucks that Tinubu's Minister of Information said that 20 trucks of rice has gone to different states. But now we've seen different governors coming out to say that they never received any 20 trucks of rice. To be honest, me as a Nigerian, I don't trust this government. Even in my own state, nobody has received any rice. Even in where I'm residing, nobody has received any rice. So I think these governors that are coming out, they're actually right. And that's why when people find out where there is a warehouse, they just go into the warehouse to pick those rice. But anyway, people should always, it's hunger, I understand. But at the same time, I don't want the peaceful protesters to be labeled hoodlums or hijackers, as the case might be. But let's quickly move to the people who are on Zoom right now to have this very discussion. But before we go to our regulars, let's start with Christian Oche, due process, who happens to be at the forefront of this very protest, day 6, and of course, starting from day 1. Christian Oche, due process, welcome to the show. Please tell us, Niger State, well-meaning Nigerians who are trooping out to the street, tell us how it has been from the first day to this 6th day. Please tell us how Niger State is progressing on a peaceful protest.
Yes, good evening, and every participant in the studio. I greet you all from Niger State. The situation in Niger State is that there has been massive suppression of protesters in the states. Wherever they see 2, 3 are trying to gather, they just come and make random arrest, and put them in hillocks and drive them away only to destination only God knows. So they are not even arresting the protesters, so to say. They just pick people they see along the road and just take them away. Probably they felt maybe they want to start a protest or something. It's just an act of intimidation and suppression of people who are perceived to be protesters. And although that strategy has failed in some local government like Suleja, where there was a massive protest since day one, and as I speak to you, Suleja is still under a very, very heavy protest. And Amina, although we could not stage protest due to this situation I just explained, virtually all the runabouts in the metropolis are just full of heavy security presence by joint security teams. They're just intimidating the residents of Mina with their presence. And the people, although I don't know I don't know if there could be any reason behind it, but some of them are like, okay, the state governor is giving them road. Maybe it's road they want to chop, I don't know. But hunger will eventually bust the way out for everyone to join the protest. And we are mobilizing to see how to assist people from rural areas who are really, really at the receiving end of the bad governance, who are chanting and requesting for mobilization to move down to protest ground. So that is the current engagement that we are doing.
Okay, but I did see massive crowd turnout at the 1 day 2 of the protest, and saw where you are telling people to meet you up at city gates.
Yes, yes, that was done, but that city gate arrangement was affected by the suppression of protesters. Like I said earlier, they just arrest people at random while they are trying to come together. The police particularly, they are the problem of these protesters. If protests go violent in Nigeria as it is now, it's the police that should be held accountable, because they are provoking peaceful protesters. They are pushing them to the wall. Protest is a fundamental human rights. There is no point trying to suppress people from expressing their rights to freedom, their right to freedom of speech. So it is not, there is no space in the Constitution that guarantees police to stop protests in any part of Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. That is Christian Ako from Niger, who is the forefront of this very protest from day 1 and up to day 6, giving the report from on ground where they have finished protest for the day, and of course arranging more people who are going to be out there tomorrow on the 7th. Now let's get the discussion going very quickly with our other people on Zoom. Lord Kingsley, you've heard about the 20 trucks of rice. We've spoken so much about that the federal government led by Tinubu going across the states. Now the states, including your own Edo State, saying no rice had been delivered to them, denying that very pronouncement by Tinubu's administration. And again, you've seen where last few days ago we discussed about a warehouse found in Edo State where citizens had to go and fetch rice. Now we've seen rice again coming out in another warehouse in Abuja where a Nigerian discovered rice. And of course, several other things about rice, including the one of 40,000 naira now. They must fill a Google form, and you must be a staff of the federal ministry in Abuja before you can be able to get the rice. You must fill a Google form. All of this is happening. Please, in a short way, just tell us your take in all of this, and of course, the protest that continues to happen in the north, please.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Obedience around the world, everyone in studio, and my fellow panelists on Zoom. Well, I don't blame the people. I don't blame the people anymore, because now they have decided to go democratic. Distribution of rice right now is a democratic activity by the public, for the public, and to the public. So they have taken the laws into their hand now, because since the federal government has purportedly distributed rice to different states, and the governors and minister have decided to hide the rice, so what do you expect? The citizens can actually go in and do their democratic activities. They have shared it democratically. Everybody that can access it, go for it. I mean, the funniest or the best of it all is the one that happened in Abuja right now. Because that's where you have this minister that thinks he's the Alpha and Omega. The Alpha and Omega. We in Edo State, we call that kind of person Ojize. Ojize. That's somebody that has stolen rice. How can you imagine that something that's actually meant for the public to relieve people from the hardship, you are now saving it to use it for your own campaign, use it for your own political needs? Why? Why? I mean, the one they found in Edo State right now, I mean, I was so happy when I found out that, yes, we had roadside women. They actually put pots outside and they were cooking this rice, sharing it as jollof rice. Sharing it as jollof rice for protesters. They were drinking, people were taking water from the trucks. I mean, you had women on the side street cooking this rice and sharing it publicly. That's the kind of spirit we want. That's what we want spreading around. How can you be doing this in a country where people are starving, dying, and I mean, they don't have any food anymore, and then the food distributed to them, you now have to go and save it? We are encouraging you, we are supporting you, we are begging you to make sure